Hey guys, how you doing? I'm very excited because it's week 4 of the Artist reStarter challenge, which means that we are nearing the end. And I'm actually very surprised that, although I missed some of the days, but in general, I'm actually managing to keep up. So, yay! And I don't know, I hope that you guys are also having a good time with the Artist reStarter if you are following it. If you aren't, I hope that you're still enjoying yourself and having a good time drawing. Or if you don't draw, just having a good February. Basically just good vibes all around. Hello Morg Design, how are you? And welcome to this stream. Okay, so is it incredibly loud or is it okay? The music, my voice, let me know. Okay, so this week Hey Mano, how are you doing? And yes, we can finally do some fan art, which is secretly what is basically all I want to do with my life, just doing fan art. Instead, I feel like I would be kind of a fraud if I weren't at least trying to draw something original from time to time. But yeah. Okay, so this week we're doing story, and yes, that means that we are going to try and think about how storytelling works through images, and especially how it works through composition and through the interaction of the characters. So basically, it's kind of like the main tenet of show don't tell, isn't it? So if your characters, are showing their attitude, their relationship with each other, that's good storytelling. And I'm all for good storytelling. So yeah, I'm gonna try and study it more this week. Still keeping to my cartoonish kind of style that I'm trying to push more. And yeah, still keeping to, trying to push my boundaries a little bit. And so today we are picking a page from our favorite comic book. I don't know why I'm talking in as if I'm more than one person. Yeah, today I am picking a page from my favorite comic book. It's because I've been recording tutorial videos all day. And in tutorial videos, I tend to put my teacher cap on, where I just talk in first person plural. Let's do this, let's do that. We are picking up the pen and doing this and doing that. So yeah, I'm switching back to normal memo mode. So yeah, I'm picking a page from my favorite comic book, which is Which is Which. Haha. I don't know if you guys know this comic book. It's pretty old now, actually. I came out in 2001. And this is a reprint, obviously, after 20 years. I actually bought the very first issue of this comic book when I was 11 in 2001. And yeah, I bought it because I saw the advertisement on another comic book that I was reading. And so I was one of the first people in my friendship group and in my school to know about Which. And then I was like, you guys, you need to buy this comic book because it's the best thing ever. And it became, really huge in Italy. I think it became quite big in other parts of the world too, but because the authors are Italian, and the IP is Italian, I think it was one of those very rare situations where, as an Italian, you feel like you're part of something good and big, because usually, I don't know, in Italy I think we suffer a bit from cultural colonialism in a way, which is odd because we have a lot of old art and old architecture and stuff, but we don't really have that much new stuff, especially in terms of, books, movies, comic books, stuff like that. Pretty much, I don't know, a lot of the stuff that we get in Italy is from the States. So the idea that a comic book was, kind of home created, it was really appealing. And the original artist that worked on this, Alessandro Barbucci, is basically the reason why I decided that I wanted to be an artist, or at least kind of like working in comic books and stuff like that. Which of course the whole thing changed a little bit as I grew up, but yeah, it's still probably my favorite comic book. And the reason why I bought this kind of like reprint is because I have the original issue at home, but like at home at my parents' house. I haven't brought it here to my new flat, so I just saw this at the supermarket and it was on discount, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it, whatever. Anyway, what's your favorite comic book, guys? Let me know in the chat, please. And yeah, so I've just opened to a random page because there you go, because I didn't know which page to choose, basically. So it was just like, you know what, this comic book is all good, so I'm just, you know, I'm just gonna open it. Sorry, now I'm gonna get like kind of like drawn in. But yeah, basically the idea is that I'm going to just kind of study this random page that I've opened up, and I'm going to, you know, try and see if I can spot some of these, you know, relationship between the characters. I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to put it up as a reference. There you go. Hey Deborah, how are you? Nice of you to be here. I'm very excited. So I'm just gonna send this to my computer so that I can put it in my my Photoshop. I am very good. I don't know why, like whenever I stream in the evening, because for me now it's 9 in the evening, I am so much more excited and kind of, I don't know, energetic than I am in the morning. In the morning, I'm like literally just kind of, you know, trying to get through the stream, whilst in the evening I am basically just a little bit pumped, really. Mana says, well, one thing's for sure, Italy is a dreamland for automobiles. I'm taking a page from Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. Interesting. I've never read it, but I'm excited. I can't wait to see what you come up with in, you know, when you post your study on our Patreon Discord, Mano. And Deborah says, I'm so sad I can't join your challenge because I'm working on too many things. Don't worry, I'm sure that, you know, maybe you can take it up next month if you are, you know, a little bit less swamped. And it's, you know, it's good to be working on many things. Although I hope that you're taking a rest from time to time, because it's also good to rest, you know, and listen to your body kind of thing. Okay, so I'm just putting this here. Always more active to do art in the evening right now, just taking a break from VC, calling with people on Discord all the time to art is really motivating. Everyone needed to go eat. Yeah, fair enough. I'm actually kind of starving myself because I just went to kickboxing, which is my sport on Mondays and Wednesdays. So yeah, I am just a little bit starved, but I didn't have time to eat before the stream, so underneath here I'm just writing the reference for this comic book because it's important to reference things. So I haven't eaten yet, and so I am pretty starved. So I'm gonna wait until I finish this stream, and then I'm gonna go eat. To be fair, I kind of have something already prepared, so I don't mind. Okay, so I'm just kind of like making a board for myself. And I especially like this interaction here. Yeah, I should probably eat a snack, to be fair, but yeah, it's no problem. So I especially like this interaction here of these two characters. If you've never read this comic book, one of these characters, this one, she's called Elion. She's basically like a princess of this kind of like alternate reality from Earth, but she didn't know it. Like when she was born, she was brought to our reality and she was adopted by a couple, and she doesn't know that she's the princess of this other reality. But unlike many comic books where that would be the main character, she's actually the villain character. The main characters are these girls, and they all used to be in school together, but then one day this one, Elion, finds out that she's actually, you know, been basically abducted by this other reality, and so she turns a little bit evil. But I mean, I'm not gonna spoiler it for you. If you guys want to read it, you should read it. But so basically, like, she's living in this other world with these guys who are like green and kind of like leafy looking, which is cute. Okay, I need to catch up with the chat. Nice. What comic? Like, are you trying to copy something from a comic book, Deborah, or is that just like your own art? Awesome, nice for apps. Spidey88, your tutorials have been so helpful for me. Thanks. I am very glad that they have been. Yeah, thank you for following. Yeah, and Mano, is the genre similar to Owl House? I don't know what Owl House is. I'm sorry, I am ignorant. You need to educate me. A drawing of a character of a friend. I am making a secret birthday drawing. Nice. I hope that they're not reading this, otherwise it won't be a secret anymore. But yeah, so talking about the interaction of these two characters, I really like how, even if you didn't know what's written on this, like, as you know, if you don't know Italian, you don't know what's written here, you're still gonna be able to understand what's going on, you know, because of the way that, you know, this character is kind of like leaning in and trying to be a little bit pushy, and she's kind of not having any of it. She's really pissed. So, yeah, what the actual lines are is this guy saying, why don't you take a break? Like, why don't you go rest? Tomorrow tomorrow is your big day. And she's like, bullshit, where's my brother? It's, you know, I've been waiting all day to speak to him. And this guy who's like a servant is like, the prince is very busy, your highness. But it's obvious that this guy wants to, you know, make sure that she doesn't bother the prince, who's her brother. So, yeah. Owl House is a recent animated series from Disney. I didn't know it. I'm gonna look it up when we finish the stream. Thank you for mentioning it, Mano. And I don't know if you know Lumiri on Instagram. She's so talented. I don't know her either, so I'm gonna have to look her up too. So I've got loads of things to look up when I finish the stream. But yeah, so let's try and see if I can kind of like study this scene over here. So I really like the composition of this scene. You know, this character here is like basically in the foreground. And I guess she was sitting on this throne. And this guy is just kind of like sneaking around from behind the throne, which is kind of funny. With his little hand going, oh, he's really busy. It's like one thing that it's so important when you when you do like staging basically and character staging is that you work with your character's hands, because hands, you know, can really act basically. Like, one thing about the characters in this alternate reality is that they all have wonderful hair. Literally, like any character you see in this comic book, they've all got grey hair. All like really smooth, really nice kind of hair. I like the fact that the character design of this character has this little like mold, like leafy bit over here, which sort of gives him, or them really, because it's a non-binary character apparently, gives them like this sort of impression of having these eyebrows like kind of like always raised in like a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of like a confused or haughty expression, which is I think it's accurate for their character actually. Okay, so this is the frame, I think. I always love that Elion has this really cute hairstyle as well, where like she's got like shorter hair, kind of like on around her face, and then she's got like really long hair in this sort of like really weird, not really quite braids. They're more like round, twisted ponytails. So I'm trying to, you know, study this and make kind of like my own interpretation of the style. So I'm not trying to copy the style 100%. Although this style is quite similar to my style, just because, as I said, this has been such an influence for me growing up that I think I do draw a little bit like Alessandro Barbucci, just because it was such, you know, such an inspiration for me growing up. Hello, Senpai Notice Me! Thank you for joining and for following. I think this guy maybe needs to be slightly bigger. How are you? Senpai notice me? I'm good, thank you. And yourself? I am quite good. I'm having a good time trying to study this scene from one of my favorite comic books of all time. So yeah, definitely a good night, good evening. I like the fact that even though, as I said, this comic book has been so influential for me, Barbucci tends to draw chins very pointy, whilst I just can't seem to be doing it. Like whenever I draw something, it doesn't matter, it's still not going to be as pointy as as some people manage to do it, basically. Yeah, you can hurt yourself on those chins. And hello, Lady Sarah Sophia. How are you doing? I feel like for me, it's like I can't really draw chins that sharp because they do feel like too manga for my style, which is not. It's not because, I mean, I'm not insulting manga style, okay? Let's not construe this as an insult to mangas because I do love mangas and I do read quite a lot of them. Hey Sarah, yeah, I know, I remember you, but I just remembered it late. But yeah, you are Sarah from Patreon, and yes, welcome, and I'm very happy that you're here and that you went for a quick walk. I hope that your walk was nice. But yeah, so basically my point was I am not, throwing shade at manga style and sharp chins. I'm just saying it's just different from my style. So even when I'm trying to draw sharp chins, I just can't. Like they just don't go all, that triangular-ish. Bleh. Okay, so this is the first kind of scene. Then there's this kind of aerial scene. Which is gonna be hard because I hate aerial scenes with a passion. It's like I hate drawing in perspective, and aerial scenes always need to have a perspective grid. So that's already a no. Same, I like the look, but it doesn't fit my style at all. My style is more soft round shapes. Yep. Same here. But yeah, it's so odd as well to be studying from this comic book again, because actually this is the very first thing that I studied in my life, when I was in at the end of primary school and secondary school, which in Italy starts at 11, secondary school. I basically drew a lot of characters from this comic book, and I used to study them and draw them for my friends as gifts. That was my thing, drawing characters and like little notes from my friends. I'm sure that all of you artistic kids, creative kids, kind of have the same experience, probably. Being the one kid who's always drawing and giving kind of like hand-drawn gifts to their friends. And I mean, let's be clear, those drawings were shit. because I was 10 or 11. But still, I enjoyed doing it, and I guess my friends enjoyed it too, or at least that's what they told me. It may have been a lie, but at least they were nice, and and they lied for me. I mean, I am a big fan of truth. Obviously, in friendship, it's important. But also, a little white lies from time to time can also be beneficial. God, this frown is so difficult. It's like all, wiggly and stuff. When I was a kid, I was super into fashion. I drew my own magazines and catalogs with my designs. My mom kept them. Oh, I feel like now I want to see some of them. Like, can you post them on our patron-only Discord? Only if you feel, comfortable showing your early art, the early production. Like I am still making hand-drawn gifts for friends. There you go. Exactly. I am too, actually. Whenever there's a friend's birthday coming up or one of my family's birthday, I'm always the one making like a hand-drawn card or a little, a little gift with maybe their portrait or, something like that. Okay, so here's this guy, and she's off. She's decided that she has had enough, and she's out of there. The fashion was super 90s. Well, of course, I mean, I guess that was the time, so... I mean, that's one thing that I'm really enjoying about this comic book as well, is that the fashion of the main characters, I mean, apart from this page, because obviously this page is like set in a different alternate world, just kind of like medieval a little bit. It's like a medieval alternate world. So, of course, they're not gonna be wearing, early 2000 fashion. But actually in oh, hello pseudofed, and welcome. How are you? But yeah, in this comic book specifically, the main characters who live on Earth all have very kind of like early 2000 fashion on, which is so nostalgic for me. It's like those like bootleg trousers and like long-sleeved shirts with short-sleeved shirts on top. That was one of my staples when I was in secondary school. Okay, so this is the bit where she's storming out. And over here, I think I've got the proportions quite right, but I hope so at least. Over here, there's this guy again. I usually buy cards but add little sketches to the envelope or decorate them. Yeah, I mean, I usually just make either very simple cards with like maybe just kind of like graphic design sort of stuff, or patterns and textures, mostly. But sometimes I do make little portraits as well, stuff like that. Like for my dad's 65th birthday, I think, I actually did my first kind of like digital painting taken from a picture of us together at a wedding. And yeah, it was pretty bad, but it was like my very first kind of like painterly-ish digital painting. And then I kind of like printed it on a big canvas from one of those websites that lets you print stuff. He said it was beautiful, but I have no idea where he put it up because it's not in our house, well, in their house. He said he put it up at the office, but I haven't seen it. I mean, I haven't been there, but I don't know. Maybe it was just a lie again because he didn't want to put it up because it was really bad. I'm not sure. I used to make cards when I was little. My mom makes cards as a hobby, so she does it like really difficult cards, but I switched to drawing. Fair enough. I mean, I love how, people can make cards and like that sort of collage and kind of like DIY stuff. I'm very bad with DIY stuff, actually. With anything like practical, I'm not very good. Why this guy is coming out, well, guy, non-binary person, is kind of coming up much more like snake-ish than in the original. I think the mouth needs to be a little bit bigger to give the impression that they're talking. The good thing, oh yes, I'm super into junk journaling, it's fun and relaxing. The good thing is that she can help me with my art, that's awesome. It is. I feel like I would have loved to kind of like have like that sort of connection with my mom. I mean, we do, like, we share books mostly. So like we used to literally read the same books when I was growing up and steal each other's books. Because obviously we only got like one copy of each book. So for example, when the new Harry Potter used to come out, we kind of like used to sneak into each other's like bedroom when one had finished reading. Like for example, my mom would go on reading later than me because I would just, fall asleep at some point. I didn't have enough stamina back in the day. Not like now, where I can just, go on reading all night if I want to. And that's a skill that I learned from her, actually. And yeah, so like she would fall asleep and I would crawl into her room in the morning before I left for school and get the book, and I would read it at school. Obviously, my teachers were particularly pleased with this habit of mine. But I tried to be as sneaky as possible. Okay. So now there's this other panel underneath. think it needs to come down a little bit actually. Like here. I got in trouble many times for reading a book I kept under my desk instead of paying attention. Yes. Actually, I believe that my adversity for math derives from this particular incident that happened once when I was in primary school, where I was reading like a comic book underneath my desk, like in the under desk, and instead of like doing exercises with, I believe it was fractions, but that's because I had already finished. Like I had finished my fractions exercises, and so I was just waiting for the teacher to kind of like move on. And she passed by and she noticed that I was reading a book. And to be fair, she was a little bit pissed off, which I guess it's fair enough, you know. And but at the time I was like, oh, she's so mean. Like, well, she isn't. It's just, you know, it was fair enough. But anyway, and so I basically, just kind of like started hating on her because she had interrupted me. God, I was such a bitch as a kid. Like, in that situation, I was so wrong. Anyway, Deborah says, really, our school was supporting reading, and if you had reading time each day because children don't read enough, you would have even get stickers when you finish the book. Yeah, I mean, we did get that as well. Like, we had sort of like reading time and stuff, but I guess not when, you know, not when you were supposed to pay attention to another teacher, I guess. Okay, so this scene over here is so powerful. She's like, whoosh, because she's got magical powers. So, yeah. Oh, this is so satisfying to draw this fabric moving, because I'm really bad at drawing draping. So to study it from this comic book is kind of really helping me figure out how to do it. Yes, we had a program that if you read so many books per month, you'd get a coupon for a personal small pizza from a restaurant the school partnered with. It was fun, probably one of 2 reasons I love pizza so much. That's awesome. I mean, we didn't get any prizes for reading books. It was just kind of expected that, you know, you'd have to do it because it was part of the assignments for things. I want, you know, my coupons. Maybe I can actually apply that now. It's just that now I'm reading so much that I would have to get pizza every other day, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I guess my digestion might have slight issues with this over time, but I would be very happy. Okay. So I'm just erasing some of this. Okay. And the character in the middle. Yeah, I mean, I do live in Italy, so I get pizza wherever I want, and it's very cheap. Actually, that was one of the worst things about living abroad, that I could never get good pizza, and it was also really expensive. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not being like snobbish about pizza, like non-Italian pizza, because actually I think that it's quite good if you take it as something else that isn't pizza, basically. So it's like the pizza that you eat in Italy is very thin crusted and kind of just like it's not like bread with some tomato and cheese on top. It's like it tastes like a different thing. Whilst when I was living in England, most of the pizza that I would try was like basically bread but with some stuff on top, which is a thing in Italy, but it's called focaccia. It's a different thing. So yeah, I mean, I do enjoy that sort of pizza as well, or like, you know, the like heavily topped pizza that you can find in the States, or even, you know, in England, where basically you have like a million toppings and there's so much cheese on it. It's super heavy. It's just not the same as what you would get in Italy, but it doesn't mean that it's bad, you know. I still enjoy it. It's just a different thing. Like, I wouldn't call it pizza, basically. Okay, this part is actually super hard to study. So the foreshortening of this hand is very extreme, which is fair enough. Practically lived on pizza and pasta when I was in Rome for a week and a half a couple of years ago. It was so amazing. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's really sad how nowadays we have this obsession of like everything or every diet is like no carbs. It's like, why? I mean, carbs are an important part of our diet, you know, like of our body, and they store energy and stuff, so it's really quite important to eat them. So yeah, I feel like the no carbs, like only protein kind of diets definitely have a lot of negative results and reactions in people's bodies, but you know, nowadays they're just all the rage. Yeah, and I mean, if you walk a lot and, you know, you need carbs to power that walk, you know? Okay, so the final part of the page is this landscape. Like landscape kind of scene where Elion is looking out of the window, and I really love how the composition here is pretty much split, and I mean, she's not completely she's not in the center, you know. It's like if you split it in thirds, she's occupying one of the main thirds, and the city and the dialogue is occupying the other third, which is good composition, because if she was here, it would be much less interesting, basically. So you want to put things at the intersection of thirds, basically, like this, you know. So you want to put things here, pretty much. Thank you, Sarah. You always eat bread for lunch. It's a standard in the Netherlands, but when I get the change, I make pasta bolognese, because it's so much better. Fair enough. I usually eat bread, but mostly pasta for lunch, and then sorry, I'm just dividing up this. Okay. So yeah, my usual like diet, which is not a diet, it's just, you know, what I eat in a day, is like I usually have pasta for lunch, and then in the evening I'll try and have more like protein. So because I'm vegetarian, I usually eat like tofu or I mean legumes and you know, stuff like that, like chickpeas. Sometimes I will eat frittata because I am not vegan, so I eat eggs. I try and buy the, you know, sustainable farming eggs, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I do eat eggs because I don't think I could live without eggs, to be honest. So yeah. And I mean, it makes sense not to eat too many calories in the evening because, of course, you're about to go to bed. So you don't really need that much energy anymore. Actually, like, more energy is probably going to keep you up. But of course, that's also different for every person. And I mean, just don't get my word for it, basically. Like, I had an actual plan made especially for me, you know, by a nutritionist who's, you know, an actual doctor. So I always think that, you know, trying to go on diets and like online diets specifically is just so detrimental. It can be really, really harmful for your health as well. So if you want to go on a diet or, you know, whatever, at least try and you know, have it done by a professional, I think. That's so interesting. Dinner is our biggest meal of the day. Yeah, I mean, it used to be for me as well, but again, this doctor that I asked to make the kind of like, I call it diet, but it's not a diet because it's not restrictive. It's like I eat, you know, plenty of calories. So I don't want to give the idea that I'm like counting calories or anything, because I'm not. But she told me that it's better to kind of like have a smaller dinner because of, you know, it's better for your digestion because you're not putting too much stress on your digestive system in the evening. And also, you don't really need to burn any more energy. So what's the point? I went on a medically managed weight loss program last year. I lost 45 libras. I have no idea how much a liber is. But I might have to look it up. To stop when I got pregnant, of course. I mean, now that you're pregnant, I'm pretty sure that you should probably follow like a different diet. And also, congratulations again. I'm so happy to hear that. Like, I was so happy to hear that when you brought it on the Discord earlier on to yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I know that that's the US standard. It's just that I am really bad with conversions. Like, I know roughly how much a foot is for the height system, but I'm very bad with the weight system. So, yeah. Also, I'm having real trouble with this tower. Okay. Google says 45 pounds is 20.5 kilos. Wow, that's a lot. Like, that is a lot of weight to lose. It's like, I don't know, a 4-year-old child probably. I'm gonna have to sneeze. I'm sorry. It isn't COVID, I swear. It's been super windy over here, and because we don't have new windows yet. Thank you. It's like we have these really old windows that came with the house. And so there's like a constant chill that comes through the window until we just change them and swap them for a better set of windows, basically. So yeah, I'm kind of like a little bit chilly. Okay. Okay, so this is pretty much the whole page. I'm quite happy. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just a sketch, obviously, but I'm quite happy with, you know, just how long it took me, basically. I mean, it's been an hour, so yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Deborah. Well, I mean, the time that I had for today, it's kind of over because I can only work for 1 hour a day on this challenge, because now I have to go back to video editing, my tutorials, and especially also the tutorial for my Patreon. So, oh, nice. If you finished, you can send it over. You can DM me if you want. I'd love to see it. But yeah, so I'm gonna go eat because now I'm getting really hungry, and yeah, I'm gonna finish this maybe tomorrow during the stream or the day after, because tomorrow we are supposed to be taking a screenshot of our favorite movie and drawing a study of the characters' interaction. So I might have to just clean this up another day, because tomorrow it's movie day. And specifically tomorrow I'm going to stream at 9 a.m. Central Europe time. So it's pretty much in 12 hours from now. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys and go eat. And I thank you very much for hanging out with me. I had a lot of time. I had a lot of fun, if I can speak. And yeah, I mean, as usual, these streams are so good. I am really enjoying them because they're really helping me actually do this challenge. I probably would have given up a long time ago if yeah, I would have given up maybe week 1 basically if I didn't have the streams that make me feel like I kind of have to, you know, keep going. thank you, Mark Design, for saying that, and thank you, Sarah, for wishing me yummy food. I don't know what I got in the fridge actually, so that's gonna be fine. But yeah, thanks again, guys. It was lovely to hang out, and I hope that I'll see you again maybe tomorrow or maybe on Wednesday. If you, yeah, thanks, Mano. Yeah, if you kind of want to hang out around this time of day, you can join again on Wednesday, because on Monday and Wednesday, I always have the stream at this time at 9 p.m. for me, which, you know, might be a different time for you. But yeah, so hopefully I'll see you soon, and have a good rest of the day or night. Bye, guys.